Hi there, I'm Lee. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to set up the Trezor Model T. So this is a brand new hardware wallet by Satoshi Labs. And in this video, I'll be showing you how to set it up. So it's my first experience with this particular new hardware wallet. I've previously done some videos for the old Trezor and the other hardware wallets, but this will be my first experience with the brand new Trezor Model T. So what I'll be doing in today's video is going through the whole process from start to finish and showing you how to get set up and started with the new hardware wallet, how to send, receive transactions to it, and also how to send transactions from it, as well as the initial first setup and configuration. So I'll be covering all of that in this video today. It's my first time of doing it with this particular wallet, so I'll be sharing things as I go through step by step. And if we encounter any problems, I'll share all that information with you as well, and hopefully we'll overcome it together. So this is the device here. And I've also got a second camera, which you'll see down here. So I'll be using that for any on-screen information on the device itself. So getting started, the first couple of steps, we've got some instructions here. So the first part is to connect it to the computer or a smartphone. I'm obviously on the Mac today, and the reason why I've done it is because it's easier for me to kind of capture everything on screen as well as on camera. Of course, you can also use your phone, or you could do it on like a Windows PC as well. So the first part is to plug it into your computer via the USB cable. So I've already taken that first step and plugged the other end into the Mac. You will notice on the connector itself, this is a new type of USB connector. It's a USB Type-C connector. The old one had like a mini USB connector, which is quite common on like Samsung and Android phones, but this is a new connector. So it's a reversible connector, and you can use it both sides. So that's what we're going to be using. So the first part is to connect the Trezor to the Mac itself. So you see on it, if you look through my unboxing video, you would have seen the actual packaging, so you know that the device is not being tampered with in any way. So I'll be taking this seal off. It's kind of like a holographic sticker. So yours should have this on there without being tampered. So I'm just going to peel that off. You can see it doesn't come off very cleanly. That's by design. And then we've got the old sticker there. So you can see it's come off and it's not been tampered with. And then we've just got our port on the end there. So I'll plug in the USB connector and we'll see what comes up on the device. Ooh, so it flashed up for a Trezor a second. I'm kind of wondering whether okay. So I just had to give that quite a bit of extra force to get it in there. It feels like quite springy, and at first when you're pushing it in, I felt like it was gonna snap or break something, which I didn't want to force it. But you just have to give it a bit of extra force, and that pops in there. So that's a new experience for me using these C-type connector. So I'll just leave that there, and now we need to go to the website. So I'm on the Mac, but I'm going to be using the Chrome browser. Previously on the other machines, I've always used the Chrome interface. With the hardware wallets, generally they're like Chrome apps and they work best. So the website that we need to visit is trezor.io/start. So let's go there. Okay, and it says to choose our device. So we have the Trezor Model T. So we're going to select this. Just a warning there saying that it is a beta wallet, and sorry for my voice today. Okay, so next step. So connect Trezor, which we've already done, and I guess we press on this button here, check for the devices. It says the wallet wants to connect to our device, so if we select it and then connect, so we want to install firmware on the Trezor Model T. So this is a safety feature. It's shipped without any firmware, so we first need to install the firmware to the device. So this is to help protect against fraudulent and scam products. So they're shipping it without any software. So the first thing to do is kind of flash it and start from a clean slate. So on the device, there is a kind of like a little timer piece on there. You can see that counting down. So that's installing. We're about halfway. Okay, so on the screen it says, on the Mac screen, it says wait for the Trezor to reboot. And I think that has already happened. So if I go to check devices again, to connect to, okay, so now we're presented with two options. Let's make the screen a little bit bigger. So the two options are we can create a new wallet or we can recover a previously created wallet. So we want to create a brand new wallet, and if you've purchased this device, this is exactly what you want to do. You want to create a new wallet as well. You only want to use the recovery seed if it's a seed that you created yourself. If you purchase this and it's already got a seed with it, don't use that seed. It basically means the wallet's being compromised. So we want to create a brand new wallet. So let's click on that. So it says our Trezor is ready, and it says we can continue to the wallet. Okay, so from this point it looks like we can use the wallet immediately, but first we should create our backup or our recovery seed phrases, so we're going to do that first. So let's click on this create a backup in 3 minutes. And it just has some extra information there. Essentially, when you create your backup seed phrase, you kind of want to keep it in a, not sure the best way to describe it, but you don't want to keep it in a digital form, so don't take a picture, don't save it in a text file. You want to keep it in a completely non-digital format. So the best way, or one of the best ways, is just to handwrite it as a note. A handwritten note, and then keep that card note somewhere safe. In a safe would be ideal. So now we've got a notification on the Trezor. So it says never make a digital copy of your recovery phrase. And then on the device, I'll press it. Sorry, just trying to get my hands through. I've kind of got a tripod underneath the camera, so it's a little bit tricky to get to. But on the Trezor Model T, it's a touch screen. So we're going to press on I understand. So you can see we've got our first words. So in this particular instance, I'm not going to obviously write these down because I'm sharing them with you. But what we would normally do is write these down. So for you at home, you've got this, your first 4 words. You need to write these down. So make a note of those. And then we want to, it says swipe, so I guess it's going to give us our next bunch of recovery phrases. Okay, and then we want to swipe up for our next set. Record those, write those down. And then our last set is those. And then it's going to hold and confirm. If you're doing this for yourself, double check all of your words. Take the time to write them down accurately, because if you make any mistakes at this point, you won't be able to recover your wallets if your device is lost, damaged, stolen, etc. So it's really important that you make a good copy of these recovery words. Also to point out, I've made a note just in my notebook here, but you guys can use the seed phrase card, which is this piece of card here. I'll show you on the other camera there. So you've just got a device label, and then you've got a space for your 12 seed words. So I recommend to you guys to write that down and then keep this card somewhere safe. We've now got a note of our recovery words, and like I say, we've got that in written form, and now we want to hold and confirm that we've got a good copy of all of those. Like I say, double check and make sure that you've got each one of them written down accurately, 12 in total. Okay, so we've just confirmed. Now it asks us to type the first word. So we're going to use the touch screen on the Trezor T, and we're going to type in our first word. So it's a little difficult because I'm doing this kind of via the camera, like I say, the camera's kind of in the way. So my first word in this demo was public. So I can see there it has public, so it's already kind of spelled that out, so I guess I need to press this one. Does it confirm it? Okay, and our ninth word. One other thing is good to sort of mention, if you write in the seed phrase that is provided to you, you've kind of got them in numbered order, so it's just kind of easier for reference. So write down including the numbers, it will be easier for you to track down. So my ninth word was not that, was weather. So weather. Just confirm that. Okay. So it's asked us for 2 words to confirm that we've written down our seed recovery phrase, which we have done. So back on the Mac, the browser, we can now, we've successfully backed up our device. So now we can continue. It asks us to give us our device a name. So we'll do that. I'll call it Model T Demo. I'll call it Demo to make sure that I never use it. Of course, after this video, I'll be making it and using it for my own purposes and starting again from scratch. So we've gave it a name and on the device now. And by the way, the screen is a lot better in person than it kind of is on my camera. So we're going to call it Model T Demo and we press the green button, tick and confirm it. So now we've given our device a name so that we can't confuse it with any of our other Model Ts should we have them. Okay, so the next part is to set a pin for the device. So let's confirm it and it's going to ask us for a pin. So you can see the arrangement is not in sequence, it's a little bit muddled up. So we need to enter our pin of choice. So like I say, this is a demo, so I'm going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4. I wouldn't recommend you guys use anything in sequence or highly repetitive. Choose something that is unique to yourself. And like I say, not easy to guess. So we've gone with 1, 2, 3, 4, like I say, because this is just a demo and we want to confirm it. Now it's asking us to re-enter the pin, but you can see the numbers are in a different placement. I guess they've done that because it's quite easy to kind of mistype your number. So again. And just confirm that. Okay, so we've now set the pin and back on the main screen we can continue. Okay, and the last part is to stay in touch with the newsletter. This is probably quite good because you'll get notifications regarding updates and new features. So I would recommend that you do enter your email address here. It'll give you the best and latest security firmware updates, all that kind of stuff. For this demo, I'll just skip that step, but for you guys, probably worthwhile doing. And continue. And finish. Okay, so that is all of the initial setup done. And now we're in a position to use the wallet. So this wallet supports several different types of coins. So the primary ones are Bitcoin, Litecoin. You can also use it for Ethereum and Ethereum tokens. I'll probably do a follow-up video regarding the focus on Ethereum because With the previous Trezor, I used the MyEther wallet and kind of used that interface, so that probably warrants its own video, but I'll take a look and see how we get on. So let's assume we want to receive a Bitcoin transaction for the safekeeping on our hardware wallet. So we've already got the coins that we can select from this drop down. You can see all the various coins here. And it also has a native app. It appears for Ethereum. Let's take a look at this very quickly. Okay, so it doesn't have a native app. It does redirect you to my Ether wallet. Yeah, so I'll do an Ethereum wallet demo in a follow-up video because it's quite long-winded on its own. So we'll stick with Bitcoin. And assuming we would want to receive Bitcoin to our hardware wallet device, we click on Receive, and then we can show the full address. So you can see here on screen on the Mac, I've got this address. And also on the device, it will show the same address on the device. So this is to make sure that the address is not manipulated or changed in any way from in between your computer and the device itself. So double check and just make sure they both read out the same, which they do. And just confirm that. So on screen, we've got our first Bitcoin receiving address, and we also have a QR code, which makes it easier to send transactions to the device. So what I'm going to do now is send some Bitcoin using this QR code, and then we'll carry on and we'll kind of send an outgoing transaction from that point onwards. So we'll send that over. That's on its way. And now if you go back to transactions, you can see that it's just flagged up, it's just shown up there. I can also show you on the Block Explorer. So if we use it generates a new receiving address for each time. Let me just sorry. Yeah, for each time you click on generate, it will generate you a new address. So make sure you there's no problem using different addresses. They'll all end up in the same wallet, but just to make sure, if you want to kind of track a transaction, then you kind of use this previous address link. So on the blockchain, we can paste this. I wish they would move that button, because your natural reaction is to enter the address and then click the button. We don't need to do that. So you can see here, I've sent a transaction. So this is the hardware wallet, and this is the YouTube's tips address. So we've sent from our tips address to the hardware wallet here. So at the moment, we're waiting for those confirmations to go through. So I'll give that a little piece of time, and then we'll be able to send that transaction back out. Okay, quite a bit of time has passed since that last little section. For you guys, it would only be a matter of seconds, but it took quite a long time for that Bitcoin transaction to go through. If we have a look at the Blockchain Explorer, you can see this is the first transaction here, and this is the later transaction. I sent a second transaction with a higher fee to kind of get something happening. So you guys shouldn't need to do that. But for me, I wanted to get this video wrapped up. So I sent two transactions, and if we go to the Trezor wallet interface and we're on transactions, you can see both of the transactions that are here. So they're both 0.0001 Bitcoin, but one of them had a slightly higher fee. That's kind of irrelevant really for you guys, but I just wanted to kind of show you arriving in the wallet, so then I could then show you the process for sending it out of the wallet. So that's what we're going to do now. So from the tabs at the top, we've got transactions, receive and send. We want to send a outgoing transaction. So if you click on the send tab, the address I've already got, kind of posted that already in there. These will all be blank for you, but the address that we're going to send it to is this one, which is the Bitcoin tips address for the I'm Own Blocks YouTube channel. And the amount that we're going to send, if you click this up kind of arrow, it sends all available funds minus the fee. So that's what the option that I've used there. Or of course you could also use a smaller amount if you wanted to. You could do different amounts depending on your Bitcoin balance. But I'm just going to select and send the whole balance back to the YouTube tips address. So then you can also set the fee. I would leave that kind of as it is, unless you're familiar with fees and you want to set a higher fee if you want the transaction to go through faster or slower, should you choose, but you probably won't ever want to do that. Then you want to click on the green button, which is the send, and it also gives you kind of a dollar reference, and I will send that. So now going to the Trezor device, so the Trezor Model T, you can see there, try and get that in focus for you. So we've got the amount to send, and we've also got the address that we're sending to. So then we want to just press to confirm it. And it's just confirms also the fee on there as well. So we want to hold and confirm it. So you can see the Trezor has refreshed, and also the screen, the browser has also refreshed as well. So now you can see that we've had the two transactions coming in, and you can see this one is going back out. So we've got positive incomes and then negative outgoings. We should also be able to see that on the Blockchain Explorer. This is always a good reference. If you're not familiar with Blockchain Explorers, it's always kind of a good way to double check your transactions ingoing and outgoing. If you're unsure of them going in and out of the wallet, normally the wallet is correct, but the blockchain is just kind of confirming what's on the network. So if we refresh this, we should see the transactions. So yes, we can. So here are our transactions at the bottom coming into the Trezor Model T. And then this is our Trezor Model T here, and the outgoing transaction to our Bitcoin tips address. And it is for that amount. At the moment it's showing as an unconfirmed transaction, but obviously it's only just been relayed to the network. After a period of time that will update and the transaction will go through. So that's it for sending and receiving Bitcoin transactions. And like I say, I'll do a separate video for the Ethereum transactions receiving and sending, because it's a little bit more detailed. You have to do a slightly different process. But if you have Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Litecoin, and I think also Zcash, they all use the native wallet, which is this kind of the wallet interface that you're using now. So it's kind of one wallet, but you can use all of the different types of coins within the same interface. So that has been it for this video. Hopefully it's useful to you. Just one or two quick questions that I know I get asked on my previous wallet videos. The most common question is, what happens if the device is lost, stolen, or damaged and you can't use the physical device itself? That's where your recovery seed phrase comes in. Essentially, you would purchase a new device or a different type of device. You would start that device up, and then you would use your recovery seed phrase onto the new device. So that's how you kind of have the protection if your device is lost, stolen, or damaged. One other question that I get asked a lot, so I'll cover it now as well, is people ask, does the device need to be plugged in to receive coins or transactions? It doesn't. The only time you need to plug the device in, if you already have your address, that is if you want to send an outgoing transaction. So you need to kind of plug the device in to send out. But once you've got your Bitcoin address, for example, once you have that address, you can just send to that address, and basically any funds are credited to that account, which is the same account or wallet on your Trezor Model T device. So that's it. So any questions or comments, like I say, put those in the comments area below. Hopefully you like this video, found it useful. I'll put a link in the description for that Ethereum part, and I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.